Hey, guess who's here? It's Big Krit. He has announced a new album coming out July 12th. Krit is here. And along with that, we got this accompanying single, Krit is Here. And pretty much on this single, it's kind of this excited, soulful celebration from Krit about how he's managed to overcome the trials and tribulations that have helped color his life, not necessarily in the greatest of lights, but him overcoming those situations and being able to prosper. There's a big, these really awesome horns that come in, the drums, and this very skillful use of this cool sampling of this gospel sounding voice that is sort of like replayed over and over again. They kind of put it on a loop. And Big Krit doesn't really say anything particularly enlightening or anything like that. He kind of just sort of hits on all these known points about success. Typically, you've kind of heard this from a lot of your favorite artists, and usually the different ways they illustrate them are kind of nice. For one of my favorite ones talking about that was off of Tyler's Flower Boy. It's a song with Frank Ocean, in which he kind of talks about how he was ducking these people that were trying to get into the house or whatever, people that were trying to basically find out where's the rent, all that good stuff, to now driving around in one of his favorite cars. The song name is eluding me, but basically, when it comes to celebration, it doesn't have to be this very expansive dive lyrically into how you specifically made it. And I'm pretty sure on Big Krit's huge magnum opus, I want to say it's the double album, 24 tracks or something like that, and that most likely is probably where you would find that dive into it. From what I understand from the quick synopsises that I've gathered, he pretty much does that on that album. So asking him to do it here would be kind of weird, and instead it's kind of just asking you to just get lost in the excitement and the happiness and the jovial feeling that really overtakes you in this track. For me, I feel a little bit ambivalent, and I think the reason that this track might not necessarily resonate with everyone is only because if you haven't gone on the journey with Big Krit as a fan, this song might feel a little odd. At least for me it did, because I personally I liked Big Krit when I was younger. It wasn't that I didn't go and explore him, but my thing was I really liked Cool to Be Southern, and then I didn't do any further exploration. So that was my fault. And obviously as I've gotten older, I've kind of figured out that you can't do that. You should go and listen and explore and see, because you might stumble upon some stuff that you really like. So for me, I kind of understand it. And to even further that perspective, if you want to think about the ways that I talk about Brockhampton, it's because I kind of started listening. I listened to all the saturations. I managed to sort of catch up to Brockhampton, and then I was in the midst of all the stuff that was happening. And sort of as a fan, you go on a journey with the artists as they grow. And it's not that other fans can't come in during a certain time, but there's a certain level of understanding and context that you get when you watch them literally grow over time. That journey is something that I think his bigger and closer fans will be able to appreciate a little bit more than someone like me, who's only kind of listened to him sparingly. And there again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that it's always cool for anybody to become a fan of an artist whenever they become a fan of that artist. It just removes a certain excitement when you go and listen to something like this in its raw form. It's like watching a kid graduate that you raised, and you're like, oh my God, but someone who doesn't really know that kid, but you tell them, yeah, my kid graduated, you're like, yeah, that's cool. But you don't get to feel that same moment. This song isn't bad, and I don't want to come off as dismissive. It's just kind of for me, the overall feeling, I understand it, but I don't feel the same levels of triumph. However, I can appreciate the fact that he is able to basically make it through these very tough situations and overcoming those tough situations. That's something that is innately relatable to any human, but his specific circumstances and what he specifically went through, it doesn't necessarily get painted here. Overall, it's a cool song, it's an enjoyable song, but this isn't something that I think fans outside of him might be able to be like, wow, this is so amazing, versus someone, again, like me, who doesn't know him as well, who kind of just appreciates this song, and I think that this song doesn't need that versatility. It's fine as it is constructed, and it's really awesome to see Big Krit in a great place, and I only wish him even more success as he continues to talk. Like he talks about like wanting to get bigger and getting lost in the houses, you know, these little things. So he does a little bit of illustration, but for the most part, it's kind of this very simple, just like, I freaking made it and this is awesome feeling and I want you guys to know that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Overall, it's an alright song, but I think that the only reason it's alright to me is because I have not gone on that journey with Krit. I have not seen him go through those certain things. I have not been following him as avidly as I might of Brockhampton, and that's just my fault. Cool song. Krit has arrived, and I'm waiting for my pizza to arrive. Who's gonna get to my house first? Don't know, but I'm gonna find out. Well, this guy says, no journey is the same. They might collide in certain ways, they might change and shift and evolve the person, but no journey is the same. For some of us, we're going to the fridge. For me, waiting for the pizza man. Come on, pizza man, you know 15 minutes is free. 15 minutes, man.